Welcome. My name is Danielle, and as always, I'm so glad to see you here. Today, we're going to be doing an all levels flow class. So, a little bit more emphasis on our hamstrings, on our splits. So, there's going to be lots of options, modifications. Being able to find the shape that works for you is the goal. So, I have some blocks ready. They're always helpful, just helps bring the earth a little bit closer. But otherwise, all you need is yourself, a mat, maybe some nice calming music, a quiet place to practice, and we will go ahead and get started in child's pose. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Coming into our child's pose, or whatever starting variation you would like. Of course, this is your practice, your opportunity to modify. But if you're going with me, you can keep your knees together if you want to support your low spine. I like to take mine a little farther apart to just get better into my hips. But either way, we're going to lengthen through the spine and then gently start to walk our hands forward. And then starting to surrender in just for a few moments. So starting to maybe close our eyes. Start to bring that awareness, that focus inwards. Just maybe notice, what are you feeling today? Where are you tight? Where are you holding on to something? Maybe just making a commitment here at the beginning, just for this practice, to just let it go. This is your chance to just be in this moment. And so let's do ourselves a favor and really get the most out of it. So a couple of deep breaths through the back line, grounding into our bodies, into this space, and just grounding into ourselves. All right, and then we will start to move. So on your inhale, wiggle walk those fingers forward just a little bit more. And on your exhale, walk your hands over to the right. Your hips are sinking back to the left. And maybe your hands are just stacking side by side. Maybe your left hand can come on top. Maybe the fingers are interlocking on the webbing and pulling back on that right hand to really activate that left shoulder. And we're breathing into that whole left side. Nice, slow, and controlled. And then we release. So our inhale, walking back through center. Reset that spine nice and long. And then on your exhale, hands walk over to the left. Hips are sinking back to the right. So it's the same shape, just a different side, but that same checklist. Maybe your hands are staying side by side. Maybe the right hand goes on top of the left. Maybe pulling back, activating that right shoulder. And we're actively sinking those hips back as we're wiggle walking our fingers forward just a little bit more. And then we release, walking your hands back through center, reset that spine, and then gently starting to press ourselves up, coming into tabletop. So we run our wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Toes can be tucked if you want a little toe stretch, or untucked if that feels more stable. Inner elbows are shining forward. On our inhale, we're going to drop the belly, pull the heart through for cow. And on that exhale, rounding back, tucking the chin, pushing back into cat. And on the inhale, dropping the belly, leading with the heart. And on your exhale, round back into cat. And then starting to move with your breath for a few rounds, maybe closing the eyes, really feeling each movement. Can you feel the breath lead the movement? Maybe going a little bit deeper into the shape through each iteration. And maybe we're staying with traditional. Maybe we're adding a little bit more dynamic movement. So maybe making some circles with the hips. Maybe making some circles with the shoulders too, doing like little figure eights. Just take a moment here at the beginning to just play a bit. Find what's calling today, what works in your body in this moment. And then reversing any circles if you've taken them. Always got to keep it balanced. Maybe noticing where are the stiffness, where's the cracks, the pops, and spending a little extra time in those moments. All right, and then coming back to tabletop, reset that spine, shoulders back over your wrists. On your inhale, your right arm is going to peel open, stretching up north to south. And then on your exhale, that right hand is going to go behind the left wrist, back of the hand pressing down, sliding it down until we're loading or bringing our right shoulder on the floor, right temple on the floor, setting up for our thread the needle. Left hand can stay where it is. Sometimes you like to walk it forward to kind of square the shoulders. That makes it more of a shoulder stretch. But you might also want to take your hand onto your back. That gets into that more thoracic rotation. Or maybe taking your hand to the hip crease. Just all beautiful options. But the goal here, whatever you're doing with that left hand, that right arm is pressing into the floor. We're trying to open our shoulders to the left side of the mat. And that left hand is just supplemental. It's not the main focus. So there's no wrong movement here. We're stretching for one more breath. And then we release. That left hand plants down underneath the left shoulder. On your inhale, unwrap, unwind. Right arm stretches up. And then on that exhale, right hand plants down. Reset that spine. Come to that nice neutral table. And then on your next inhale, left hand shoots up, stretching north to south. And then on that exhale, left hand goes behind the right wrist, back of the hand touching down, left shoulder, left temple, and then setting up for your shape on this side. So make sure you can hear me through my microphone, sorry. All right, so we're setting up. So your right hand maybe stays where it is. Maybe you walk it forward. Or maybe you go for your hips, maybe that bind, the deeper bind. But whatever you do, that focus, that emphasis is on our left shoulder. And you might need to do something different side to side, and that is okay. We all just need to feel that sensation, and we all feel it in different ways. And breathing nice and slow, pressing into the floor for one more breath. And then release. So that right hand plants back down under the shoulder. On your inhale, unwrap, unwind, stretching north to south. And then exhale, hands plants back down. All right, moving our hands forward, just a handprint, tucking the toes, lifting our hips, making our way into our first downward facing dog. So it's the first one of the class, maybe of the day. So give yourself a little bit of generousness, kindness here, maybe bending both knees, maybe pedaling it out. Just take a moment to really feel yourself in space. And reorient yourself now with your head below the heart. And then once you feel it, once you're good, you're all sorted out, start to come into stillness and really embody the shape. So starting with our hands, pressing into all 10 fingers, all 10 knuckles, palms pressing in. We're pushing our chest away. Inner elbows are shining forward and we're pressing the chest back. We have a generous bend in our knees to start to really find that length in the spine. And then when you can't get any longer, start to straighten the knees, drop the heels, and then pause when you feel that resistance. That is where we stay. And that is where we breathe. Just for one more breath. All right, then generously bend the knees, look to the top, and pressing into our hands the whole time. Tippy toe forward as slowly as we can, really feeling our hands rooting down. And then coming into a forward fold at the top of our mats. So a few moments here to do as you like, maybe leaving the hands where they are, maybe giving yourself a nice bear hug and shaking side to side, maybe grabbing opposite elbows. You know, I'm feeling really stiff in my legs today, so I'm going to generously bend my left knee, straighten my right leg, and sink my hips over to the left for a moment. Get a stretch in the outer IT band. Maybe shake my hip a little side to side. And then do this stretch on the other side. So straightening my left leg, bending my right leg, shifting my hips over to the right, and feeling that stretch on the outer hip, just feeling it out, waking up all of our muscles. All right, and then resetting. So release any bind that you've taken, and slowly as you can, uncurl, unwrap, unwind, coming up to Tadasana. Chin comes up last, arms up overhead, and exhale, arms down by your side. All right, we have made our way to standing. Maybe take a moment to reconnect. Maybe close the eyes if it feels okay. Reconnect with your center, with your purpose. And then we will start to move. So on your inhale, arms up, interlock grip, release the index fingers, and exhale, hips to the left, arms up and over to the right. We're looking for that beautiful half moon shape. Then inhale, back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. And holding for a breath. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, cactus, the arms lifting the heart up. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms slide up the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. And then inhale, shift forward, then lower down, knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, pull the heart through for little baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, push yourself back through child's pose. And then lift the hips for downward facing dog. So that right there is our gentlest vinyasa. That is always an option, or it's always an option to skip it entirely. We will add on a little intensity with each round, but you do you. Listen to what your body needs. All right, bend the knees, look forward, and then gently step to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to your breath. Breath by breath, being present. And then we move again. So inhale, arms up, interlock grip, release the index fingers. Exhale, hips to the left, arms up and over to the right. Hold for a breath. Then inhale back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, shining the heart forward. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, a flat back lifts you up. Inhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Inhale, shift forward, knees lower down, then lower all the way to the floor. Elbows are in by your sides. Inhale, untuck the toes, lifting up into cobra, baby or bigger. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, push yourself back up through tabletop, then lift the hips for downward facing dog. Then coming back into stillness, coming back to your breath. And bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Come back to that breath. All right, one last time. Inhale, arms up, interlock grip, release the index fingers, hips to the left, arms to the right. Hold for a breath. Inhale back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms to the left. Hold for a breath. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, lifting the heart. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or jump back, top of a push-up. And shift forward, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, pull the heart through for up dog. And then exhale, roll over the toes, make your way into downward facing dog. Settling in for a breath. Then on your next inhale, right leg lifts, bend the knees, open up the hips. That right knee is lifting up, right heel is driving in, trying to open our hips to the side of the mat. Shoulders are square. And then on your exhale, straighten out that leg. Inhale, driving it through knee to nose. Then gently stepping it through. Between the hands, left knee drops, untuck the toes. Inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for a crescent low lunge. So feeling it out for a moment or two, trying to awaken that left hip flexor. So we're sinking the hips down as we're lifting up. You're welcome to stay here. If you would rather have your hands grounded, focusing on sinking those hips down, you're welcome to it. You can also take those blocks on either side of the foot to give you a little bit more space. Or we're going to find some movement. So going from our low lunge, inhale, drive down through that right heel, sink the hips back for little half splits. Then inhale, rebending that knee, lifting up into our low lunge. And exhale, flipping the palms, driving the arms back, the hips back. Moving here with your breath for a few rounds. Really connecting to our roots, feeling that strong right foot grounding down to lift us up. And bringing that awareness to your core. It is active, it is working, it is keeping you stable. One more time in that low lunge, then one more time in that half lift splits. And when we get there, we stay for a few rounds of breath. So some options, you can keep your hands around the foot to pull the heart forward. You can keep your hands by the hips to push the heart forward. Just slightly different actions. You can stay in stillness or maybe move the hip a little in and out, just getting into the fibers. Maybe a generous bend in that knee if it's feeling a little tight, if you're feeling it in your spine. You want to feel it in that leg. And breathing into it. And then we release. So sinking our hips forward, planting the hands, tucking the back toes, picking up that back knee. And then slow and controlled, we're going to pivot to the left side of our mat, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Gentle bend in the knees, shining the heart forward. Exhale, slowly lower in. And pressing into the balls of our feet, trying to feel that stretch along the whole back side of the legs. Maybe the hands are underneath the chest. We're bringing the heart forward. Maybe the hands are in front of us and we're pulling the heart forward. Slow and controlled. And then on your inhale, bringing those hands back under our shoulders, slow and controlled. We're going to pivot our way to the back of the mat, setting up for a low lunge here on the other leg. So dropping the knee, untucking those right toes. On your inhale, hands to knee, thigh or sky for our crescent low lunge on the other side. So starting first and foremost to get into that right hip flexor, we're sinking the hips down, driving the left hip back. Maybe the arms are reaching up, lifting the heart. Gives us the space to sink a little deeper. We're welcome to stay here. And again, we're welcome to bring our hands to the mat, get those blocks on either side, or start to move. So going from our low lunge, driving down to the left heel to sink the hips back, flipping the palms, coming into a little half splits variation. Then inhale, lifting the arms, lifting the heart, sinking the hips. And exhale, sinking back into our half splits. So moving with your breath for a few rounds or staying in stillness. You now know where we're going, what we're trying to do. So find what calls to you in this moment. Maybe finding a moment to close the eyes really helps you connect with your roots, connect with the earth. And remembering that we're moving through our core. So our abdominals are engaged, our glutes, even our shoulders. The whole central body is working to keep us lifted. Staying in our low lunge for a breath, and sinking into our half splits to stay. So same options. Our hands can be on either side of the foot. Our hands could be on either side of the hips. Generous bend in the knee if we need it. And we're lengthening through the spine before folding in. And then tucking the chin when we can fold no further. And maybe closing our eyes, really feel the sensation. And maybe checking in. Are we feeling it in our legs, not our back? If so, bend that knee a little bit more. Keep the stretch where we want it. All right, then bending the knee, framing that left foot, tuck the back toes, pick up that back knee. Then slow and controlled, make our way to that wide-legged fold at the back of our mats. Micro bend in the knees, lengthen through the spine, and then we hinge forward. Maybe taking the same options with the hands this side, maybe walking the hands forward, or maybe taking the hands back to pull the head down. But we're rolling the weight into the balls of our feet. Our head is hanging heavy, pulling us down, straightening that spine in time, and breathing through the back line. And then we release, walking those hands back underneath the shoulders, generous bend in the knees, then slow and controlled, make our way to a low lunge at the top of our mats. Right leg steps back and flow your way to downward facing dog. And then once we arrive, a couple of breaths in stillness, reconnect. All right, then bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up. Chin comes up last. Arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Connect with your breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. So we're not gripping with the toes, weight is in the heels, lifting through the spine, and our low belly is up and in. Can we sit a little bit lower, lift a little bit higher, and then exhale, fold in, lifting those hips. Inhale, halfway lift, a strong back. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up, and flow your way to downward dog. Settling in once we arrive. Right, then on your inhale, right leg lifts, bend the knee, open up that hip. And exhale, right leg steps through, coming up for our high crescent roots. Then as you're ready, on your inhale, we rise, hands to knee, thigh, or sky. So feeling it out, maybe we stay in stillness, maybe we invite movement. If so, on our inhale, we lengthen, reach up. Exhale, lower down, cactusing the arms. Inhale, lifting up into high crescent. Exhale, rooting down into low. Inhale for high. Exhale, sinking lower, gently tapping that knee. Inhale, high crescent. And then exhale, start to hinge forward, grounding down in that right leg. And then gently, we're going to make our way into warrior three. So maybe your hands are reaching forward. Maybe your hands are at the floor. We're going to launch off that left leg into our warrior three. And again, this is a great chance for some blocks if we need them there. Maybe we can take them to heart center. Maybe your hands are taking flight. That left leg is flexed, that left foot is flexed, I'm sorry. And then on our inhale, we're going to start to bring that left knee in, coming up into one-legged Tadasana. Flexing that left foot, left knee. Can we grow taller? Then exhale, driving back through that left heel, making our way into warrior three again. Staying here or starting to lower down into our standing splits variation. So we're trying to keep the hips square. That left foot can be pointed or flexed, either option. That left hip is down, and then we're lowering the head as we're lifting the foot. And then gently starting to bend that right knee. Left foot grounds down. Make our way into high crescent. And straightening that right leg, leading forward, lowering into pyramid pose. So settling in here, maybe adjusting those feet, bringing that left foot in a little bit. This is a great option for some blocks again. You can put them on either side of the foot. Maybe doing the high setting, maybe the low. And then just grounding in, closing your eyes, feeling it out. Micro bend in our right leg to keep the knee safe. And then maybe hinging forward. And I'm noticing myself, it's early in the day for me and I'm stiff and I'm on carpet, so everything is wobbly. So if your day is just not there, just know that that is okay. Embrace the shake, the quake, the wobbles, then release. So removing any blocks, bringing the hands down, setting up for our low lunge roots. And then on your inhale, right leg lifts, maybe bending the knee, opening up that hip again. And then coming into downward facing dog. Let's take a vinyasa to reset if you need it, or maybe staying in down dog. All right, and then coming into stillness again. Connecting with your feet, with your hands. As you're ready, on your inhale, left leg lifts. Bend the knee, opening that hip. The knee is lifting up, heel is driving in. Connecting with your breath. And then on your exhale, squaring the hips, driving the leg through, and then stepping it through for our high crescent. So finding our roots. As you're ready, we rise, hands to knee, thigh, or sky. So again, we're doing the same thing, just the opposite side, but you know where we're going. So we're here to stay, or maybe inviting movement. Exhale, lowering down, lowering the knee. Then inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lifting. And then taking those hands, driving them back, flipping the palms, pressing the back, driving the weight into that left leg. As you're ready, launching off to the right into our warrior three on the other side. So we're trying to keep those hips square, but you can take your hands to the blocks. You can take your hands to the floor, maybe keeping them at heart center. All beautiful options. Feeling it out, and as you're ready, using that strong core to pull that right knee in, coming up into a one-legged mountain. Flexing that knee, flexing that foot, finding that strong core, keeping you lifted. And then on your exhale, driving back through the heel, upper body comes down to warrior three again, maybe staying, or maybe surrendering into our standing splits on the other side. And it is surprising how hard that balance can be on a softer surface. So play with it, see what it feels like, and then let go of any expectation. All right, as you're ready, making our way, landing softly into high crescent. Then straightening the leg, maybe bringing that right foot in a little bit, leading with the heart, coming into our pyramid pose. So assessing, what do I need on this side? Straightening the leg as much as we can, leading with the heart. We're trying to fold over that straight leg, maybe tucking the chin at the end. Breathing into that back line and softening the face, softening the heart, and just loving this moment, however uncomfortable it may be. All right, then taking those hands, reframing that left foot, setting up for our low lunge. And then on your inhale, left leg lifts. Maybe bend the knee, restack those hips, and then make your way into regular downward dog. And taking a flow if we need it, or staying in down dog if it's preferred. And then coming into stillness one more time. So we have been building heat. We have been opening our legs, feeling that energy. And let's see where that energy has taken us. On your inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, rounding it through, and then stepping it through for our low lunge. So untucking those back toes, setting up, maybe sinking the hips back for our half splits. So if this is where you'd like to stay, you're welcome to it. You can take a block underneath the right hip and kind of sink the hips back. I sometimes like to tuck the toes a bit more, it gives you more space. But we're trying to open that right leg. So if you want to stay in half splits, you can stay here, sinking that hip back as much as you can, using a block if you'd like. Or if you want to try full splits, we're going to start to wiggle walk that right foot forward, maybe wiggle walking that left knee back and feeling it out. So you go until you get to your edge and then you pause and then you assess, what more can I do? And if you're close to it but not quite there, you can take a block, play on the different settings. I'm on the medium setting today, grounding it down with that right sitting bone. And that maybe gives you the space to lift up. You can use the other block to kind of brace your hands to lift up. But we want to try to keep our hips square. So we're pressing that left leg down, really feeling the activation in that left quad. Pressing that right heel down, feeling the activation in the right hamstring. And then lifting through the spine. Maybe shoulders are over your hips. And breathe. Always breathe. We want this to be an active pose, but not a painful pose. So if you're feeling sharp, burning, ease out. Just be here for 2 more breaths or so. And maybe as our body is warming up, can we go a little bit deeper? Maybe play with it a moment. Can we bring the block to this next setting? I'm almost there, but not quite. So that is okay. And we're gently going to start to make our way out. So if you've gone all the way, gently walking that left knee back in, gently walking that right foot back in, coming back into our half splits, and then tucking that left toe, picking up that left leg. On your inhale, right leg lifts. Maybe bending the knee, shaking it out, doing some circles. And then coming to stillness, our regular downward dog. Maybe taking a moment here to pause and just notice the difference side to side, how much more different your right leg feels now that it's been a little bit more opened. And then we balance it out. So on your next inhale, left leg lifts, bend the knee, maybe open up that hip. And then on your exhale, knee in through nose, setting it through for our low lunge. Right knee drops, maybe untucking the toes, maybe not. Then driving the hips back, setting up for our half splits. So same thing on this side, same shape. You're welcome to take that block if you want to try to use it to sink that left hip back. That's a great way to work. Kind of just get into it more targeted. Or you can start to make your way into that full split. So that left foot wiggles forward, right knee wiggles back. And trying to keep our hips square. We're not opening our hips up to the side. We're keeping them facing forward. And then when you get to your edge, you take that block if you can. Maybe you stay higher. You can support the legs, support the hands or not. But we're driving down with that left heel. Really feel that activation along the whole left line. Pushing the right knee, right toes in to feel that right hip flexor. And then when you have your roots, bringing your awareness up the spine, a strong, tall spine, maybe rolling the shoulders down and back. Your hands are supporting you. If you're feeling fancy, want to come to prayer, want to bring them up. Those are also beautiful options. Just take a moment to assess, what do I really need right now in this moment? And then bring that awareness to the stretch. Really closing your eyes, feeling it out. Where am I feeling it and where do I want to feel it? Maybe a micro bend in the knees to really make sure we're not overexerting the joints. And then soften in. As our body warms up, see, can we go just a little bit deeper? Wiggle walk that foot a little bit forward. Maybe change the setting. I'm almost there, but not quite, and that's okay. All right, and as we are ready, start to make your way out. So if you've gone all the way, wiggling that right knee in, framing the top of our mat, starting to bring that left foot in a little bit. Then we tuck the right toes, pick up the right knee, left leg lifts, maybe stacking the knee a moment more. Doing what we need to do, straighten it out, coming into stillness. All right, we're bending the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. So we're going to make our way to the floor by way of a squat. So taking our feet about mat's width, heels are in, toes are out. On our inhale, we lift up. And then exhale, start to sink down into our squat. So taking some options here. What do you want? We can stay here to stay, work on stability and getting deep in the posture. If we want to work on strength, maybe moving for a few breaths. So on your inhale, drive down to reach up. And exhale, lower in. Do 3 rounds. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sinking down deeper. One more time, inhale, reach up, maybe a little baby back bend, and then exhale, sink in. And then maybe we stay here. Maybe we take a block. Maybe it's medium setting, high setting. It gives you the space to just really feel the stretch, not overwork yourself. Your elbows are making contact with your thighs. And if you're staying up where your hips are above your knees, that's okay too. This works. You drop your hips down as much as you can and you breathe. For 2 more breaths. All right, so we're going to remove any blocks if you've taken them. Going to make our way into boat pose. So if we can, without the hands, we're reaching forward. The more we reach forward, the more we sink our hips back until we drop down. Legs come up. And here we are. We have arrived. So your legs are squeezing in towards center. Feet are pointed. Your arms are reaching forward. Palms are up. Maybe we're grabbing behind the thighs. That's okay. Maybe they're active. They're stretching. They're working. Lifting through the heart. Can we hold for just a couple more breaths? Trying to take the shoulders away from the ears. Then gently start to lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, maybe take a moment, hand to heart, hand on the belly. Really connecting, slowing down the breath. All we've got left is a little stretch, a little grounding left. So prepare yourself for just a little bit more work to come. All right, so bringing our knees in, wrapping around, giving our knees a big bear hug. Keeping our legs side by side, not crisscrossed. Maybe we're grabbing onto forearms. Maybe fully get into those elbows. Just taking a moment to really press that full spine into the floor. Shoulders are rolling down your back. Just enjoying the sound of this train passing as we have a moment in stillness. Maybe rolling side to side. Maybe doing some circles with the knees. Kind of getting into the low spine. Some days that feels good. All right, and then as we're ready, coming back in through center, and we're going to straighten the legs, going into waterfall pose. So no real rules here. Gentle bend in the knees as much as we need to, but we really want to feel our sacrum pressing down into the earth. Then you're welcome to stay here and just rest. It's a beautiful restorative pose to feel gravity just working a little bit differently on your legs. Or we're going to take that right leg, start to bend it, bring the right foot on top of the left knee. You can keep your leg straight as we pull it in, but your hands are coming behind that left thigh. So that left leg stays straight, or maybe it bends and the hands come onto the knee, pulling that left knee in. But we're trying to feel some sensation in that right outer hip, the back of the hip. So once you feel that, that's where you pause and you breathe. And then staying here or using that strong core to topple your legs over to the left when that right foot grounds down, taking that hand to your right knee. You can pull it in if you want to really focus on that outer hip, or you can push it out if you want to kind of get into that inner groin. You can look over your right shoulder if it feels okay. Just feeling some sensation along the whole right side of the body. Maybe closing the eyes, starting to notice how are we feeling now that we have done some work and cultivated some energy in our bodies. How has this practice served you today? All right, then starting to come out of it, using that strong core if you can, taking those arms out to either side, engaging your core, keeping those legs as they are, just pulling them back through. And then straightening the legs, maybe shaking them out, maybe doing some circles with the ankles, just setting up, releasing, and getting ready for the other side. So again, you're welcome to stay in waterfall. If you want to go further, we're keeping that right leg straight, left leg starts to bend, bringing it on top of the right knee. Then your hand can come behind the thigh, pulling the full leg in. You could also, if you want to grab your toe, you could pull the leg in that way too, but sometimes it's a little too intense. Or you're bending your knee, interlacing underneath the knee and pulling it in that way. But we're looking for sensation in that left hip. So pulling it just as much as we need to feel a little bit of heat, a little bit of awareness. And then trying to soften in. We're keeping our left foot flexed, just trying to keep the stretch active, keeping the muscle a little bit safer. And you're welcome to stay with this, or as you're ready, start to topple those legs over to the right side. So when the left leg grounds down, that hand comes to the knee. And again, you can pull it in to work on the outer hip. You can push it out to work on the inner hip. And maybe your left hand comes and stretches out to the side and you can look over it. Or you're looking up. Just, what is calling to you in this moment? And maybe noticing how different it feels on this side. As we bring awareness to our breath, softening where we can. And then we release. So bringing those arms out to either side, using that strong core one last time. Can we bring our legs back in through center? And then reset for waterfall pose one more time. You're welcome to stay here for a moment. Maybe taking the legs together, doing some circles on the low spine one more time. It's really feeling good for me today. And then as you're ready, making your way into a final Savasana. So using that core, if you would like, to slowly start to lower those legs. My core is not there today. I could not do it as slowly as I would like, and that is okay. So setting up for our final Savasana. So traditionally, heels are in, feet flop out. Hands are by your sides, palms up to receive. You can also bring one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart to really connect with that breath and feel the inhale and the exhale. You're also welcome to modify, I need it today, bending the knees, bringing your feet about mat's width and letting the knees fall open. It's a little bit gentler on your low spine if you have any spinal issues like I do. or modifying however else you would like. Just find a comfortable position that gives you the support and space to just exist, to just be in stillness. All right, if Savasana is calling to you, you're welcome to stay a little longer. If you're ready to be guided out, gently start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, inviting some small movement in, and maybe keeping the eyes closed just a little bit to keep that sensation from being too much, too fast. And gently make some bigger circles, maybe starting to bring your arms up overhead, giving yourself a big good morning stretch. And then gently starting to roll over to your favorite side. Pausing for a moment, letting your spine come back to neutral. And then gently starting to press yourself up, making your way into a comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed just a moment more if it feels authentic to you. So maybe bringing your hands on your knees to brace your chest, support the spine. Maybe bringing your hands to heart center to connect in for just a moment more. Maybe rubbing the hands together for a moment, feeling that heat, that friction, that warmth that we have been cultivating, and connecting with it just a moment more. And then pausing in stillness and in gratitude for all the work today that you have done on the mats. We all benefit off of the mats, right? By cultivating that inner peace and calm that carries with you through the poses of life. So I thank you so much for taking that time to practice and take care of yourself today. And until we meet on our mats again, I bow to you and say, Om Shanti, peace, peace within, peace around, and peace to those who need it most. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this at all helpful, I would love it if you could like, subscribe. Let's help get this content out in front of the people who need it most. And you know there's a lot of them out there. So if not, that's okay. Thank you. Keep doing the good work. And I will see you on our mats again soon. Bye.